Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, LMT, the People's Fitness Professional, alongside my co-host.
Mikey Fever.
And this is a New Yorker's perspective, man. I want to just let's put some music on for this one right here. I don't know which one I'm gonna put on. Let's put that one on. Oh, nah. We need something. We need something a little lighter.
Yeah, bro.
We put that on. How about that?
Hey, sound like a superhero for real. We lost a superhero.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, LMT. Y'all already know what's going on. Peace Awareness Daily.
Peace and Awareness Daily. Right now, the brother would have been there right now. Peace to the room.
Yo, man. Today's podcast is about Arnell Bey. Yeah, I just want to. You know what? Let me take my glasses off.
Yeah, man.
I want to take my glasses off for Arnell Bey.
Yeah.
Mind you, these glasses are all right. So this is my project with these glasses. If y'all see these glasses in this beret, what this is about is I'm gonna go online and I'm gonna talk to the young people online on this app and ask them stuff about history and stuff like that and see if they know. It's a little project I'm gonna try to do. And let's see if it works. If it works, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'll just embarrass myself for everybody to see in the world. But anyway, let's go to Arnell Bey. Arnell Bey has passed on. Kamitri, let's see. Hold on.
Rest in power. Arnell Bey. Solid brother right there, man.
Okay, so I wanted to do this podcast to talk about Arnell Bey. Arnell Bey is a person that I met online through Facebook, and he was always an encouraging Peace Awareness Daily and Silly. He was always an encouraging brother. He always would make comments under my post, and peace have been. He always made comments under my posts, and then we would talk through inbox, and we would vibe, and then at some point we would we would go back and forth about Moorish science and things, and he expressed certain things that he felt that need to be implemented in a sense, and I would state what I know what Moorish science is, and we kind of went back and forth on that, and then we kind of agreed to disagree, but the way we agreed to disagree was very respectful, and brought me closer to him. And when we started this podcast, he was someone who was supportive from the very start. Yeah. He understood the vision. He saw what we were trying to do, and he was trying to help us build this channel. That's why you saw him on a live, almost every single live. To not have Arnell Bey on this live today is kind of a weird feeling. Arnell Bey is from Chicago and then moved to Carbondale,
Illinois.
Hold on. Islam to my brother. Come on, Kamitri. We waiting on you. Oh, we waiting on you, Kamitri. But so like I was saying, he lived from Chicago, moved to Carbondale, Illinois. And that, as far as his history, from what I know, I don't want to butcher his history. So hold on one second. Kamitri said no link. Hold on one second. Let's get Kamitri. We gotta get Kamitri on here. We're supposed to have Cujo on here. I'm of course I like to take things from knowledge to born, so I'm gonna explain how we got connected to Cujo I believe through Arnell Bey, right? Or no. We connected. I connected with Cujo on my own, but I found out that Arnell Bey is the one who put
Who'd
um
you onto the
who
Moorish
on
Science?
Moorish Science.
Uh-huh.
You
They
know,
did.
and if I'm wrong, you know, let me know. Hold on a second. Does it hold on. Sent. So
Pause.
again, to go back to Arnell Bey and I, we went back and forth about Moorish science, and his thing is that he grew up in Islam and Al Islam. I actually didn't know anything about Al Islam. I didn't know it was even called Al Islam until Richard Neal Bey started saying that. So I learned whenever you hear Al Islam or like considerably Orthodox Islam, and I
Mm-hmm.
say Al Islam, that comes from Arnell Bey. So I don't want to say too much because I don't want to I know his wife, Kay Glover Ill, Crystal, she's gonna see this, so I don't want to,
Yeah, shout outs to her, man. It's nothing
wanna,
but love and support. Yo, hold on. Can we get a moment of silence for Arnell Bey, though?
yeah, for sure.
For a quick 30 seconds.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So before I keep going on and on and on and on, they're not here to see me. They're here to hear about Arnell Bey. I want you to talk about Arnell Bey. I mean, what do you remember about Arnell Bey?
Man, before the podcast even started, I remember watching his Facebook lives. Because that's around the same time I linked up with you. I was watching his Facebook lives of the community work he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a young lady, I believe. Now I think they call it Alita Clark, Dr. Alita Clark. They was doing a lot of community work,
Mm-hmm.
if I can recall. And I see him out there, helping out the homeless
That's
and
what he
elders in the community. Yeah, man, he's very big on
community oriented,
yeah.
family oriented. You know,
Mm-hmm.
don't forget the Asiatic his brand.
Mm-hmm.
Got to throw that brand up.
What was it? I believe what was it? I think it was it toilet paper or something like that, or dish detergent.
That he's got everything.
Yeah.
Peace, Kamitri.
Hey, peace, Dimitri. How you doing?
Can you hear?
I think our mic is muted.
Peace, peace, peace,
Peace, peace.
peace. Hey,
Hey,
Hey.
uh,
man, I'm doing. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I can. We can hear you.
Okay, he says.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Okay.
Yeah.
You can hear us.
What's good, brothers?
What's
Good.
going on? Can you hear us?
Why
No,
can't I hear y'all? Hold on.
You can hear us? I don't think she
she
got
can
us.
hear us.
Mm-mm. You gotta check the settings, Dimitri. I mean, she can't hear us.
Can y'all hear me, brother? Because I
Yeah.
can't hear y'all right now.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I can hear you.
We can hear you, but you can't hear us. Okay. All right. We'll wait until she comes back. But as you were saying, Mike, you were saying that community active. He was
Heavy in this
community
community, yeah.
oriented, and he was heavily in the community, family oriented, and he was
Mhm.
just a peaceful brother, man.
Mhm.
And every day he would live by Islam, man.
Definitely, man.
Moorish science, and also what he would consider Al Islam.
Definitely, most definitely.
Peace, Kamitri. You hear us now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
good deal.
All right.
How your brothers doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah.
I just got in the door. I'm good. I lit a candle for Neil Bey last night and kind of just sat and grew up with them. I moved to Carbondale when I was 5 years old, and known Neal Bey since grade school. So what can you say? He had a big heart. Perfect he was not, we all, came from the streets, but he'll give you the shirt off his back, no doubt. Just that brother heart was huge.
Definitely.
That's why we connected.
Yeah, man.
And before we keep going, I'm gonna, because not only because we're celebrating the life of Arnell Bey, but I just want to, there's one of the reasons, but I just want to publicly apologize to you for the last time we were on live. Oh, not on live, on the podcast. I'm gonna publicly apologize. I really mean that at the bottom of my heart. At the time, I don't know what the hell I was dealing with. I was probably too aggressive. It was too much. So I apologize. The man that you knew then he's not here anymore. He doesn't exist anymore.
I appreciate that and well accepted, brother. Truly. I truly appreciate that and accept that. So it's in the past. We move forward, and it is what it is. So gratitude, no doubt. Hi, Mikey.
What's up, Key? What up, Killer Cam?
So Kavitri, can you break down a little bit of the history of how you and Richard Neal Bey met? What's his his character and things about him?
Just met him. I think I was probably around 9th grade. Yep. And our circles kind of intertwined. A lot of people know, he was GD, and I grew up around mostly all GDs in Carbondale. So he was in the streets like most of them, and they set him down for a minute, and he got himself together. And when I had moved away, and when I came back and he was home, that brother all he knew was Islam. All he knew was Islam. And about 2014, I had moved a couple times, and but every time I come to town, I always seen Neal Bey. He was always doing something at the park. Like I always seen him when I came to town. And about 2014, I was kind of shifting from, Christianity. I was going through my awakening, and he jumped right in, like had a conversation with me. And one day I was like, just come to temple and we'll talk. And went to the temple, and I think a few weeks later, he made me the treasurer of the temple in Carbondale. And I was married at the time, and made my ex-husband the assistant grand sheik, because they grew up together as well. And they both, GDs as well. So, and I just started learning. Like, I had so many questions, but when I say he opened, it was just, he was an open book for me. I just had so many questions, and was reading the Circle 7 and was going to meetings, and he always fed me the knowledge. And sometimes, there was a time when he gave me an ADAP book. He told me, sister, I know, it's some steps you're supposed to take to get to this, to get this book. But I feel you ready, and because you're my sister and we grew up together, I'm gonna just hit you with the knowledge. And he, and he did. He just, like I said, Neal Bey got a big heart. He was always doing for somebody. And shout out to Sister K. I met her right after they met. I met her, and I was just like, oh yeah, they just alike. Cause her heart huge too. Her heart just as big as his is. So that's my people. We go back, to the middle school. So I got nothing but love for them. You couldn't be in Carbondale and be dealing with anything about Islam in the temple and Richard not be there. But the thing about Neal Bey is, even if your faith was different, that didn't bother him. He still would do for you, and none of that mattered. He stood firm on his, on his Moorish status. But if that was not your thing, that it didn't make a difference. He would still give you the shirt off his back. He would still help you. He would still, do for the community, no matter what your faith is. So, I love that brother. He took me in and got my head right, like real quick.
That's peace. Now, do you know anything about his history? Because I just want you to correct me if I'm wrong. His dad had him grow up in basically the Nation of Islam first through Waris Dean.
I don't know who through who, but from what he told me, his dad, kind of, guided that direction for him. Now, as for who, I don't know who, but his dad kind of guided that direction from my gathering when I got into the temple and we really started building together. So, but
from the NOI, right? Through Waris Dean.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know that part. I just know he can't, like his dad kind of got him into the Islamic faith. From what I heard, was a very strong contributing factor. Because, like I said, I moved away, and then I came back, and when I came back, he had the temple up and going.
Right. So he had the temple up and going. What temple? And I think I remember him saying something like that.
So the Moorish Science Temple of America, Temple number 2. Like I said, we left and moved to Phoenix, and then we came back. And when we came back and moved back to Southern Illinois, me and my, at the time, husband, he had Moorish Science Temple of America number 2 up and going. And like I said, that's when we started building from there.
Mm-hmm. And then what was your experience in that temple? What was it like? Because I know how the temple is in New York City under the C. Kirkman Bey demonstration. But as far as that demonstration, what is it like? What did you guys have meetings on Fridays and Sundays, or how did it?
So we did meetings when I was in the temple and I was the treasurer. We did meetings at a community center on Oak Street, and that's where we would have temple. We started out every other Friday, and then we went to every Friday. And this was before Sister Kay Glover L, his wife, and and at the time, it was dope. We would have meetings. We would go to different places. We would hang out. We would go out, to dinner. And at the time, I became vegan as well. So he kind of walked me along that journey as well. But yeah, he had the temple up and going. Wasn't a lot of people, wasn't a lot of people attending or whatever. But he was still Neal Bey going. He was standing on that Moorish Science Temple of America. Mm-hmm. Even though when I was there, it wasn't a lot of people that was attending temple, but he still did stuff, for the temple. We still, had functions and invited people, whether you were part of the temple or not. That's who he was from the get-go, even when it was just a handful of us at temple. And my experience with the temple, I learned a lot. Like, as far as the knowledge, I learned a lot, and with every, organization, you got people that's, just like the Baptists and Methodists, they got a little, rift, and, you're going to have that sometimes. But like I said, Neal Bey was always, he stood on what the prophet said. At the end of the day, whatever going to be said, he just going to go back to that certain stuff and tell you what the prophet said. So I had a really good experience, and then I felt like I wanted to grow some more and explore some other things. And so I still built with him on the side. When I stopped being treasurer, I wasn't in the temple as much, but I still would build with him on the side,
Right. Peace. That's peace. So now you said you basically grew up with him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, what was he like back in the days?
Bruh. Man, he was like everybody else, and on the east side of Carbondale. He got in the streets for a minute. This ain't no secret, so I'm not bashing him or nothing like that. Everybody from home know this. He got in the streets like everybody else. It was that era. It was that time where he got into hustling. But even then, even both before he got locked up and all of that, and got into the temple, like, he still was always a good dude. You know what I'm saying? He still was always a good dude. Don't cross him. I will be very crystal clear about that. you know, don't cross him because Neal Bey was plugged. Like no doubt, Neal Bey was plugged, and I know these things because, like I said, him and my ex-husband were, they both was GDs and had plenty of rank under their belt. So he was plugged. So don't cross him. I'll tell you that. But even before the temple, before he always still was that dude, even in the streets, he still was that dude. If you needed something, man, if he got it, he'll give it to you. That didn't come from the temple. That didn't come from GD. That's his soul. That's just how he was. No matter what he was doing in life, he was always, 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 always had a big heart. Period.
Right. Now, I don't know if we want to go too deep into this, but I mean, I had a lot of conversations with Arnell Bey, and I want to know. I'm just curious, how tall was he?
Let me see. I'm 5'11" and a half, so I'm taller than the average female. So, but I looked a little bit up to him. So he was a little bit, quite a little bit taller than me.
Like 6'1".
Yeah. Because like I said, I'm 5'11" and a half, and I still looked up to him a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah. So a reason why I asked, because he told me about how he was like a fighter back in the days.
Neal, I'm trying to be, before his temple days. Hey, Neal was there. I'm telling you, he'll get with you. I'm just telling you, before, in the late 80s, early 90s, and that was, we was in the streets like that. And hey, he wasn't one to cross. Long as you didn't bother him or his family, he ain't got no problem with you. But if you come for him, it's gonna be a misunderstanding.
Hit the tree, punch trees and stuff like that.
It's gonna be a misunderstanding, either with them hands or some heavy artillery. Either way, right. Long as you wasn't bothering him or his family, because that brother was, even before the temple, he was very, very family oriented. Don't mess with that. Don't mess with that man's family. Don't bother him. Don't bother his family, and he ain't got no problem with you. But if you come for him, yeah, it was gonna be a misunderstanding. It was gonna be a misunderstanding.
Right. Now, he used to ride that bike like all day. He was on my live one day, and I was talking about workouts, and I was telling the public, they should do like an hour tops. He said that he was working out 4 hours, a 4-hour clip, and then sometimes he said he would ride his bike like pretty much all day, really.
Yeah. When I was in the temple, he would he rode his bike a lot, and that's what he was a big dude, and he wasn't like the slimmest brother in the world, but he was always out walking. He was on his bike. He was very active. Always very, very, very active. Walking, riding his bike. You would see him at the park. That was always who he was. That didn't ever change.
Right. And we met you through Arnell Bey.
Mm-hmm.
We did. We met Kamitri through Arnell Bey. Now, Arnell Bey's first episode, first of all, I'm going to say Arnell Bey kind of like in the beginning was the star of this platform.
Yes, he was. Yeah. And I want to add this too. He corrected me with the naming of Jeff Fort, aka Imam Malik.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, he corrected that. He just put me onto the politics, man.
Now let's talk about what he said about Imam Malik.
Like he was working out.
He said Imam Malik, aka Jeff Fort, which he said Imam Malik would not want to be called Jeff Fort at this point.
No.
So all respect to that. But he said Imam Malik would run, then drop down, do push-ups, run, drop down, do push-ups. Like he was like, this dude was a machine with the workout. So I remember him saying that, you know.
I was on a call with him when I first got to the temple, and he was on a prison call with the brother. And yeah, that was, I remember it because it was like at that time, like I wasn't heavy into the politics of the gangs. And, you know, him and my husband at the time was kind of explaining at that time, like the brother was, you know, Jeff Ford. He was, that was at that time where he was wanting everybody that's under him to fall under the Moorish flag. Yep. And I remember I was at KFC. I was sitting at KFC with my ex-husband and Neal Bey, and he was on a prison call with some of the brothers with him. And I, you know, I was just sitting there listening, like I said, because I wasn't really into the politics of the gangs or whatever. But I remember sitting at KFC and him taking that call and talking to them, and yeah.
Yeah, so he was connected there, and he was trying to get us interviews with different people. It just got real, like we were supposed to be talking to some Stones, we were supposed to talk to some Bees, we were supposed to be talking to a lot of different people, but this podcast just got so busy, you know. Like I didn't even expect it to get as busy as it got, you know. And so that never really fell through some of these bills on this thing. But Arnell Bey was a person who I would speak to at a point in the beginning, like almost every day. And then once the ball started rolling, you know, he was working on his page, I was working on my page, but we was still in like close contact. Anytime he was anytime we was on a live, he was on a live. Something else about Arnell Bey. Arnell Bey, he did pray 5 times a day.
Serious about Salat.
Yep. He would wake up for prayer, and do the whole thing. And that's where our so I wouldn't say conflict, but that's where our disagreement was. And then now I come to think of it, I'm like talking about how Moorish science doesn't incorporate, you know, Al-Islam, and I'm like, you mixing the teachings and saying that to him, but here I am, I'm 5% dealing with Moorish science, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the hell I was thinking back then, but you know, but we of course came to some resolve, and that was my brother. You know what I'm saying? That was my brother. Something else I knew about Arnell Bey used to work out. Remember that live that he did with that
Caucasian dude? Yeah, that was funny.
Dude, that was mad funny.
Arnell Bey, like the last message I had from him, we were talking about doing a live after that episode about fentanyl. He wanted to talk more about that and gang violence.
Right. Yeah.
We wanted to, like you said, we wanted to get some former Stones on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the violence in Carbondale. It's rough. Like it's, I don't have no words. And I know Chicago is rough, right? But in my point of view, when you have, you know, because Southern Illinois University is in Carbondale, so you have a lot of people that come down from Chicago that come to the college, but you in this small town, and the crime, like it used to then be like that. It's like Carbondale has gotten really, really, it's gotten really rough. But again, that's the thing about Neal Bey. He was trying to just get everybody on one page when it comes to, you know, respecting each other and, you know, not having so much violence and things of that nature. He didn't really care what your affiliation was, you know, in Carbondale. He was just trying to get people to get on one page and, man, stop all this fighting and killing and all of that. He didn't, you know, he was just trying to bring everybody together as one, period, no matter what your affiliation was. And that was, I had so much respect for him because of that, especially, you know, he come from GD, but he still talked, you know, to the Lords. He still talked to the CVLs. He still deal with everybody else and still show them the same love. Didn't matter, you know, what flag you fell up under.
Right. Yeah, he was all about the youth. He was like, you know, what he was saying was yeah, he could build about Moorish science and things like that, but what was most important to him was getting through to the youth.
Mhm.
That was
Because that's in Carbondale, that's where all the violence and everything that be going on down there, like it's mostly coming from, the younger generation. So he was always trying to, talk to them, and because we didn't come from that, you know what I'm saying? We came from, true enough, they was in the gangs and, was doing their thing in the streets, right? But in our time, it was a different level of respect. Like we ain't moved like how the youngsters move like now. It was different. Everybody wasn't quick to pull a pistol. And again, that's Neal Bey. He ain't really had to pull a pistol if he needed to express himself in that way, and that's what we came from. You might take a whooping, but like they say, like Ice Cube said, you get up to see another day. Take your whooping, get up to see another day, bro.
Mhm. Right.
And it's not like that, it's not like that no more.
Right. So his main focus was were the children. Now in Carbondale, I mean, he was saying like the fentanyl got real bad out there, and the kids are shooting a lot.
A lot. I mean, a lot.
It wasn't. He said it's not as bad as Chicago, but it's up. It's up there.
Yeah, it's I just, like I said, that's my hometown. When I go into town, or my family call that's still down there, just like, man, such and such happened. I'm just like, what is going on down there? Is it something in the water? Like, what is going on down there?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel him. I respected him. He was trying to get these youngsters to realize, man, you ain't always got to just pull the pistol out and start shooting. And one thing about us coming up, even though, we might have been a little wild in our generation, but man, we still had mad respect for our elders. It was, we moved different. We still had a level of respect for our elders and how we did things. It just, it ain't like that. And I remember the last time I was down there and I talked to him briefly for a few minutes, and he was just talking about that, exactly what we're talking about. He was like, sis, it's wild down here. It's just like the wild. He was like, it's the wild, wild west down here. And I'm like, bro, I don't know how you do it.
But how could you change things out there in Carbondale? Like, I mean, everywhere the kids are like kind of gun crazy. You know what I mean? So, even in New York, where the crime is supposed to be lower than everywhere else, right? It's just certain areas you already know.
Yeah.
It's not the best place to go because people are not really fighting like that out. I mean, people are still fighting in New York, that's for sure. But
right.
And the reason why people fight more in New York, I would say, is because they know, like, the gun laws are crazy out here. So anybody out here without without a license, they're really, really taking a big risk because you get an automatic 3 to 5, what I mean, automatically with a pistol. So
wow.
Yeah, but it could still get crazy. So like I don't know what was his plans. Do you know of his plans on how to change things for the youth or anything like that?
I haven't been home in a minute. I've been out in Cali for a while, and I'm in Georgia now. So I haven't been home in a minute. Outside, I'm like y'all, outside of watching his videos and just touching base with him on social media. That's about it. So, I can't speak directly to, what he had, exactly he had planned. Yeah, I'm sure the wife, probably know. Yeah, she, because I travel in the medical field, they always kept me on point with my paperwork for vaccinations. And I remember the first time I came to him, I'm just like, bro, like, I can't be doing all that. And, him and her kind of hit me with the paperwork, with the knowledge, what to say, what not to say, what, paperwork to, so just much love to, to him and Sister K. Appreciate y'all, like straight up, just appreciate y'all. They both just got such big hearts.
Yeah, I would like to talk to I inboxed her on Facebook.
Mhm.
She said she appreciates
Mhm.
this. So I'm gonna definitely send her this live. The only thing I could do right now is just talk about things that it's just what I remember from Arnell Bey was just talking to him on a consistent basis and talking about, you know, plans and moves, and he was just trying to support other people's pages. He
Yeah.
was supporting a lot of different pages.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like, you know, he would send me something. I'd be like, what is this? And then I'll go and look at it. And it's another page. He was, you know,
Yeah.
indigenous this and this, that.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. When he
oh,
told me about y'all, he hit me up one day and he hit me up on Messenger. It was like, I got some brothers I want you to meet. I'm like, you do realize, like, I'm all the way out in Cali, Grand. She was popping. But then
yeah,
he told me about y'all, and I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." I was like, for sure, I'm down. Talk to y'all real big, and you know. And then I seen the video the very first video that he did,
yeah.
and I was like, "Oh yeah, Neal Bey out here doing his thing. He's doing
Now,
his thing here."
Arnell Bey's video is still the biggest video that we have on our platform. It's like, I
Yeah.
don't know, I think like 13, 15K views right now. And that video is called 60, I think GD growth and development. I forgot. I
It
know it
was
has
something with
something
GD in it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
GD,
yeah,
it was GD's in it,
yeah.
growth development and all that. And then
Yeah.
and 63rd. And
Yeah.
then we did many videos with Arnell Bey. So you could look into, I'll just repost them on the wall. So if y'all missed it, y'all could see.
Mhm.
What else was he? Oh yeah, and he's not African. Don't call him an African. Don't say, don't take him. He's not one of the back to Africa type of people at
I
all.
learned that in the temple. When I got in the temple, he had that discussion, off top. And, he was like, and, at the time I was married and, my husband knew a lot about it as well. And it was like, we ain't come and not disrespected Africans, but he was like, we ain't come from Africa. It was a lot of us already over here. Like he just took me through the knowledge and I was like, I got it. All right, Neal,
Yeah.
I got it, Grand Sheik. I got it.
Yeah, he wasn't playing with that.
No.
And sometimes I would catch him on live listening to R. Kelly and regular music. Like, and I was like, oh yeah, he's like me. He's like a regular guy.
Yeah, that was something he would say because I had, when you come from a Christian background, I always had this image of how you supposed to act. But when I got in the temple and and he told me one day, like, sis, you got to meet people where they at sometimes. You can't just start talking to people about, your faith and the temple and this, that, and the third. And they ain't even out the streets yet. He was like, so you got to meet them where they at. You got to be able to speak their language. You know what I'm saying? So that was something he was, no heavy about. You catch Neal Bey listening to some anything. He was upon your physical eyes. He was just a regular dude, right?
Right.
But if you knew, like, to know him, that's a whole different ball game. And he truly, truly, truly like would meet people at where they at. He didn't like downgrade nobody. If you still in the streets, he would joke around a lot, well, brother, why don't you, stay from the liquor store, you can come over here and build, you throw a couple jabs out there or whatever. But it was always from the heart. It was always from the heart.
And his love, true peace, freedom, and justice was strong. He was strong. that hand was straight.
Strong with it. Strong. He did not play around at all. At all. That brother was something serious. But I can respect it. Because to me, I think if you're gonna be in a faith or religion or whatever organization, you need to know everything about it. And that brother dedicated his life to to the temple, to prophet, to the teachings, to the faith, like from beginning to end. And I can respect anybody if you get an organization and you put that much work in and dedicate your life to it, and you can't do nothing but honor it and respect it.
Indeed. Yeah, for sure. On that note, thank you for showing up this evening.
Yep.
We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Bey is will be truly missed. I definitely shedded a tear for that brother yesterday. I can't believe it. This is weird to even be on this live and him not on this live. My condolences to his family, and anybody that was ever close to Arnell Bey. I love Arnell Bey.
Love him.
It's a shame that I'm not going to be able to press his hand in the physical in Chicago, because that was the plan. That you know, that sucks, but hopefully, I get to meet Crystal, his wife, and
Yeah.
and you too, Kamitri. And just the invitation's open. You're welcome to come on the show anytime. Look who's back. Jam Master J.
Lost connection, whatever. Lost connection. My bad, people.
So I'll say it publicly. As you can see, we got 5%. We got Moorish Science. We got Nation of Islam. I would love for you to have your own section, because now, just to let everybody know, on the YouTube page, everything is sectioned off. So if you want to look at 5% teachings, you can click on the 5% playlist. If you want to click on Moorish, you can click on the Moorish playlist. And we got a cult. So I don't know if Kamitri, if you want to maybe do the occult ones.
Okay. Definitely. Yeah, her and I have been talking about that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to Mikey about last week. Yeah, that would be dope.
Yeah, so we can continue to build and build this friendship, and we're about to click out. Thank y'all for joining us this evening. If y'all want to leave, any words for Arnell Bey, floor is open.
I got one thing to say. I respect and salute to you, Ron, for what you did earlier with Sister Kamitri. As as Arnell Bey say, it's always about growth and development. But people in the world need to learn this, man. I'm not into the politic thing, but I see what politics is doing to our people. People are being easily misled, saying if you're on this side, you're wrong. If you're on that side, you're wrong. However it may go.
Yeah,
we need to, focus on us. Focus on yourself. Do some work, as they say, the shadow work. Do some self-healing, man. It's not about, some people argue just for the sake of being right, dealing with their egos, man. Let's come to the highest form of understanding, which is, of love, which is understanding.
Right.
And just keep it moving, man. That's it. That's what we
I
can
send
do.
I send love to his family. Definitely. I send love to all the Moors. He dealt with a lot of Moors. I send love to all of y'all, for sure.
Indeed.
Yeah, man.
Peace to everybody. Rest in peace, Arnell Bey. And we are out of here.
Yeah, out of here, man. Peace.
Peace.